Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anuj. I'm a final year MBBS student at GMC Nagpur. In this video, I'll be giving my term exams of final year MBBS. Oh yes, it's on. Let's go. In exactly 24 hours, I've got my medicine paper and this is the Exam Saga episode 2. I haven't touched one major part of the syllabus, psychiatry. So first I'm going to do that and then I'm going to do renal and then we're going to revise all the medicine things that we studied last week. I got the marrow notes for psychiatry. I'm going to do it from here. My only goal was to study the important topics in psychiatry and marrow notes were the perfect resource for that point. Psychiatry is a subject which I find very fascinating because it is not the traditional, okay, this is the liver, this goes wrong with the liver. It's something very complicated, very difficult to wrap your head around and imagine things, what the patient is actually going through and what is the pathological process behind it. I just read like 3 psychiatric disorders in 5-10 minutes because marrow notes are pretty small compared to the book and मैं इसी से पढ़ के जाऊँगा. आया तो आया, नहीं आया तो नहीं आया, देख लेंगे, जो देख लेंगे. I made a list of all the different systems which are going to be asked to us in our medicine exam and started to cover everything step by step. And finally opened the book of Bulur after publishing a video at 10 AM on a Sunday. I was scared at this point because the size of the book is pretty huge and I had to read a lot of it. But before going further, I made sure to call my friends to ask what is their status. Hello guys.
हेलो
मतलब मेरे को बता, अपन सब लोग सीरियसली पढ़ रहे हैं क्या?
नहीं,
तुमको नहीं लग रहा कि अपन बहुत ज़्यादा ही अंडर प्रिपेयर्ड है हर एक चीज़ के लिए? Since it is really difficult to cover the syllabus by oneself, we decided that as friends we could, help each other out by sending each other PDFs of all the topics that we have just read so that everybody could read them and it would all be a place to collect everything. By the way, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so because it would mean a lot to me. And it just takes 2 seconds, so please consider doing that. The first system that I started out in the morning was renal, and acute tubular necrosis, end-stage renal disease, glomerulopathies, nephrotic syndrome, and so many more diseases. Renal is a topic which is very, very interesting and also a bit complicated at the same time. Thankfully, the things that they ask us in our term exams are not that difficult. And it took me near about 2.5 hours to complete the unit of kidney.
Always all of the time. In it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind. Always, all of the time. All the time.
I just did a significant part of nephrology. I'm going to stop and start with CNS because that's the next topic. Good thing is that I've read most of the other topics which I've listed down over here, so उसमें ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं लगेगी. But nephro was time consuming. So let us go ahead with CNS. The next topic was CNS and it was the second system that I was doing and it took me around 2 hours to complete CNS once again. Expected at least one long answer question and let's see what happened. Okay boys and girls, CNS is done. Now we move on to endocrine. I mean like medicine is so vast. Why is it so vast? Bronchial asthma 12 पेज का दिया हुआ है. Then we've got COPD और 12 पेज का. कितना पढ़ना पड़ता है यार. नहीं पढ़ना मुझे इतना. Oxygen my boy. One of the things while you're facing an exam is confidence. If you don't have the confidence, you have lost the battle right then and there. So before any exam, I try to be as mentally strong and prepared as possible, even though my syllabus is left and I have done 0 revisions. So that is the first victory that I get. No matter what happens ahead, at least I am confident that whatever will happen, I shall be able to face it. So I continued reading medicine with this confidence that we shall prevail. Soon after CNS was done, I moved on to the third system that was endocrine and it took me near about 3.5 hours to complete endocrine. I just finished the part of endocrine system. It took me so long. 11:20 हो गए. Tomorrow morning I have a paper. I've got respiratory system left and I have to revise psychiatry again because I've forgotten half of it. I'm so unprepared. Never been so unprepared for any paper series in my entire life. But terms होते ही ऐसे medical college के. Even after like 10 hours of studying including psychiatry from the morning, I wasn't able to complete the syllabus. Respiratory system was still left and I thought I should keep it for the next day right before the paper. Next morning after reading the RS and at least completing the syllabus once, I kind of felt okay कि चलो let's go to the exam hall and see what the exam has to offer. So I went to GMC Nagpur to the medicine lecture hall where our exams are going to be conducted.
You think you're tough, yeah, so go ahead, come and put me off. Bring all your friends so they can watch. You're drunk dialing up my phone, so here I am at 3 AM.
3 hours later, medicine was done. What is your reaction to the paper and what did you learn from your mistakes?
The reaction is that we can write a lot by knowing so little.
Exactly.
I wrote 2 pages with just 4 words. Please, if the examiner is watching it, please don't read it.
But sadly I could not stop because I needed to go home, work on a video and study surgery. The syllabus of surgery was the entire book of SRB, entirety of surgery in one day. Alright, the paper was pretty good. I had to write 3 questions on my own. So there was this one question called as transverse smylitis. I had studied it, did not really remember it. So guess what? I had to bring up my own ideas of transverse smylitis. एक और बार हुआ था when I was in first year. I had to write about semicircular canals. I made up my own semicircular canals, made everything, diagram वगैरह सब बनाया. I got 3.5 out of 4. So I was not all wrong, but in here I might be. Anyways, I'm really happy with 1 paper is down, 3 more to go. Now I've got a lot of work to do before surgery papers, and to be honest, surgery has got the complete syllabus. So I've already given up sort of because surgery is so vast. I'm only going to read the very IMPs, and the thing is they don't ask you from the IMPs. Right. We had a question on thiamine deficiency. Who asks thiamine deficiency? I don't know. It's a biochem question from first year. Sometimes I do get stressed, but I look at the bright side and see that it's okay. It's a good amount of stress, and I like having it. इसलिए मैं स्टूडियो में शूट करने बैठता हूँ अभी. आप enjoy करो. I called up my friends and asked to see how they were doing. After sitting down, I sat for near about 2 hours to study the general surgery part, and I ended up finishing it and decided that it was not a piece of cake to study entirety of surgery SRB book in a day. This is what I've read so far, and this is what is left. So it is safe to say that nothing that I can do right now will compensate for the syllabus tomorrow. So instead I'm going to do the logical thing and sleep. Sometimes you gotta know when to stop, and that was today. Not all study vlogs are going to show you this, but yeah, this is the reality, that sometimes the syllabus is so extremely vast that you have to just quit everything and just let it all go. The thing is, my motto is I haven't studied anything, but I'm not stupid. So if they ask me something, I will be probably able to write that down, but I won't worry about it really. जो होगा सो होगा. Pass होना aim है, fully pass हो जाएंगे. In the history of GMC Nagpur, I haven't heard a single tale of anybody failing a term exam. That is the basic deal over here. Right. Wish me luck, cause I will need it. Half an hour's my fate will be decided. So thank you so much. Goodbye. You prepared? You under prepared? You zero prepared? Situation outside the medicine lecture hall was pretty dramatic. Everybody was waiting for the doors to be opened, and Abhijit was listening to something on his phone. Everything was chaotic, and we were sort of ready to face the paper, ready to see what happens. What happened next was amazing. And just like that, on day 2, surgery came to an end. The paper was difficult, but miracles happen. Surgery paper done. I got a little help. So it is Arya's birthday today. We're gonna get some cake and then celebrate it. She doesn't have a clue that we are going out.
तुमको कोइंसिडेंस बताओ क्या?
बता.
1 साल पहले इसके बर्थडे पे मैंने ये शर्ट पहना है.
इसने आधे पेज के लिए पूरे सप्लीमेंट.
I'll tell you, sometimes in life miracles happen, and today was one such day because the questions which they asked, shock, upper GI bleed, all of them were not so difficult, and we had already written a lot of them before. आज मैं काफी excited हूँ पढ़ने के लिए, so let's just get on to editing the video so that we could later study on. And before starting to study Gynac, I had to complete a video, which I did right after I came back from surgery. Since I did not have the book, I was using my iPad to read it. The book that I was using over here was Datta, and I think it's an excellent book if any of you wants to read gynecology. I earlier tried out Shaw, but realized that it is something which I cannot read or comprehend or even write the papers from. I will sure read it after papers are done. I've read half of the things in gynecology, and I think I'm going to sleep right now. Kal subah 6:30. I'm very positive about the subject because I just have a good feeling about it. Hopefully we'll see how everything goes. In the morning I did the same thing, revised a few questions over and over, tried to read the important topics only, and since gynecology is only half of the part of the total subject and also a lesser half, it went pretty good. The night parking is covered in moss. Yeah, gynecology thoda bahut pad liya hai, so I'm pretty confident that it's going to be good. Yes, that's about it. See you inside the classroom. I was very confident that no matter what happens, I shall be able to write the answers. At least some of them. Day 3, gynecology was done. But the most difficult paper was yet to come. Pediatrics was still left. Just back from the paper, and guys, guess what? Gynecology, it was good. All the predictable questions. Fibroid, prolapse, the usual. And I'm really happy that I studied a lot because, you know, paper went well. Tomorrow is the most hardest paper of all, pediatrics. Yes, it has been said that the peds paper in our college is so difficult that even if you were to cheat in that paper, you would not find the answers to the questions. I had already completed 1/3 of the book of Ghai, which is a book for pediatrics. So I only had to complete 2/3. It was roughly around 15 to 16 chapters. Still a lot, all systemic pediatrics. I started from the back because I knew that if I started from the front, my motivation would not last. I've taken a scheduled break. I have done almost 10 chapters by now. You could say I am 1/3 done with the syllabus. I just need to cover up 1/3 more and revise the last one. So yeah. I have reached the exact halfway point, I would say, and you could easily complete this half of peds in like within hours, I would say. That's it. Also, one interesting thing that I would like to show you. Look at this chest x-ray. So, you know, this part of the chest x-ray, that is supposed to be the aorta and this is supposed to be your heart. So in patent ductus arteriosus, there is a communication between the aorta as well as your pulmonary arteries. So this connection causes increased pressures in the aorta, so that causes this huge enlargement of the aorta, as you can see. There's also a bit of haze on the lung fields, so that also indicates some sort of edema over there. So yeah, so this is what ARDS looks like. And here, as you can see, that entire lung fields are whitewashed. This shouldn't be the case. It should be black, this black, and as you can see, this is completely white, so this person cannot breathe. So many signs in radiology, but honestly great to read everything. It is really fun interpreting chest x-rays. Peds is not a difficult subject, but the paper which they ask is almost pretty difficult. They only ask us clinical cases over there. They won't ask you to write about dengue, rather they will give you a case, gets bit by a mosquito and then develops hemorrhagic fever symptoms. So something like that, and you'll have to figure out what infection it is, what are the differential diagnosis, and write it according to that. That's what makes this paper particularly difficult. But thankfully, I have attended the postings and I know what the most common diseases in pediatrics looks like. Did not stop, did not lose motivation, and gradually progressed to end the book as soon as possible. Around 10 chapters are left, so I did roughly 17 chapters in one day. Pretty huge. I'm just gonna call it a day. Not only 2 hours of studying left for this video and for the exams, so pretty excited about that. Tomorrow we shall absolutely prevail. Let's go. Boys and girls, exactly 1 hour to go for the paper and I am done with pediatrics. All the 27 chapters done, finished, and now I should probably get ready and go to college. I really cannot believe that I did it, but how prepared are you for peds?
I don't think I am prepared enough.
Sejal, कल तुम कितना तक जागे थे?
मैं 4 बजे तक.
You? 12. As we march toward the medicine lecture hall for the last time in this particular episode, I felt extremely happy knowing that at least I have studied everything once. I would be able to write down most of the things that come to the exam, and lastly, this was the last paper of the term exam, after which I would finally be free from all the studying that I had to do for the last 2 weeks. And just like that, guys, pediatrics was also over. They asked us pretty difficult questions. One of the questions which came to us as a clinical case was of rheumatic heart disease. So happy with what I have done in the past 4 days, except for surgery, for which I did not really study much. This gave me the confidence that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it. Sir, finally over. I am home. Sham ho gayi hai, and damn, what a journey, man. Finally, I remember coming over here to make the exam saga for 2nd-year MBBS, and now finally a term exam over. Pretty awesome. Peds, I'll give you the total review. Udhar ek plane ja raha hai. Questions were super difficult. Our long answer question was actually a clinical case. 7-year-old girl, breathlessness, fever, joint pain and pansystolic murmur. Rheumatic heart disease, yes. So good. And the thing is, I studied a lot, and even though they asked a few atypical questions, I was able to nail them down. Hopefully, marks अच्छे मिलेंगे. It feels very refreshing. I am so happy. देखो birds जा रहे हैं ऊपर. अपना एग्जाम खत्म होने के बाद बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है. I want to thank you for watching my videos because you have changed my life completely. I hope this episode motivated you to do something amazing, and I really hope that it showed you some insights on the life of a medical student in final year. Thank you so much for continuously supporting on every single video since 2 or 3 years. It really means a lot to me. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so because each of these videos take up a ton of time, effort, and energy to make, and subscribing in just 2 seconds would make up for all of that. See you next time on another Exam Saga Study with me or Sit and Chat video, and again, thank you so much. It's your boy Anuj. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.